Hey everyone, it's John. So, for this week's discussion, we're talking about the Freedom Project and the idea of creating alternative futures with technology. So, for the first sentence, I used to think my digital devices were mainly just for entertainment. When a lot of us, especially in our age group, first started using the internet, going all the way back to AOL, we only had, chat rooms, simple games, early cell phones. And one of the first cell phones I had was the really big brick ones that when I was in the Navy in the early 90s. And, it was exciting. It was new. And it was something we used occasionally just to communicate. Playing games didn't really come out until several years later. I believe it was called Snake on the little Nokia phones. So it wasn't something that it was part of our lives as much as as it is now. Right now, it's a large part of our lives. And I've become I began to consider how digital devices are becoming really too intrusive in our everyday lives. They're just not just tools that we pick up when we need them and then just put them back down. They're connected to our jobs. They're connected to our banking, entertainment, relationships, our schedules, and even how we relax. We have become so used to checking our phones that we do it without even thinking about why we picked them up. And after listening to some of you guys, one thing that's interesting is that it affects every generation differently. Some of us remember pagers and, typing in numbers to get to someone that has a pager and spelling out little words like cool or, silly things. And this was before smartphones. Um, and some of us, we do remember about worlds without devices. However, I think we're all experiencing some of the same problems. You know, uh, Shorter attention spans, difficulty being bored, and really constantly feeling like we need to check messages, social media, or notifications. One of the things my wife and we have put into place is unplugging from our phones. We set uh, a notification to where it's I believe it's called focus, and the only people that can get through are our family, our kids, and that's it. Emergencies. If it's an emergency, give us a call. And it's been really amazing for our relationship. We've had more meaningful conversations. We actually talk to each other. We sleep better. We wake up. We're feeling more refreshed. And we don't have that blue screen mind fog from staring at our phones right before going to sleep. And after that change we made of putting our phones down, especially when we're eating and socializing with other people have noticed we don't put our phones on the table because we want to be there in the conversation and look around. Especially with us taking out our boat and going and having dinner with people and just being present. And it's pretty surprising that something as small as a phone can become so intrusive in our relationships and with the people that we love the most. So moving forward, my goal is not to completely reject technology because it's still useful for work, school, and communication and staying informed. That's another topic. My goal is to become more intentional about how and when I use it. For me, an alternative future means creating healthier boundaries so that technology remains a tool instead of becoming something that controls all of my time, all my attention, and my relationships.